Young American Studies scholars, it is time for you to show what you've learned so far when we have a little assessment on Monday and Tuesday of next week. Or we could just call it a quiz. It's not a major quiz, not a huge quiz. This is not going to determine if you get into college or if you are going to make a bazillion dollars as a heart surgeon or a history teacher, for that matter. It's basically an opportunity for you to offer some feedback on what you've learned so far in American Studies history class. And also, it's going to give myself and Doc a little information about how you're doing and a little bit about your writing. So, we want to offer you some feedback and help you become a better student because that's what we're doing. Now, the way that our class works, very similar to some of the teachers you've had in the past. We don't like grades. We don't like those letter grades. We'll talk about those as the quarter progresses or the semester progresses. But we're all really interested in targets. We've got some learning targets that we've already established. You'll see them on your assignments. You'll see them on my website, AmericanHistoryRules.com. Thank you. Make sure you bookmark it. But that's how I'm going to assess your understanding, your learning, and your growth so far in the short 2 weeks that we've been together. Of course, if I'm going to ask you to hit a target, you should know what those targets are, right? So, here we go. I'm going to ask you to hit a target about constructing some pertinent and insightful lower and higher level questions. Remember those basic questions, the depth of knowledge, not very, very, very deep, the who, what, when, and where, the questions you can ask your phone. Those are good questions to be able to ask. But I also want you to be able to ask some higher level questions. Take a look at those resources that we used in that first full class that we had together last week and start thinking of some sentence stems in order to ask some higher level questions or deeper knowledge questions. I'm going to ask you to express the importance of the government in your life. Why should you care about the government? Think about in class, we put a whole bunch of pieces of paper up down on the ground. We talked about the importance of government. We put stuff on an online bulletin board. Why should you care about the government? Why should you learn about the government? And what is the purpose of government? Think about that social contract, those natural rights, the state of nature, the purge. I also want you to be able to identify, analyze, and summarize the main ideas and important points of the most important document in American history, the Declaration of Independence. You're going to have a nice summary of it from class. You don't need to know it word for word. In those grievances, you don't need to worry about it, but realize that they said they had to say why they were declaring independence. They put forth a political philosophy. They said that the government was not protecting their rights and gave 27 examples of how. They said they did all that they could do, but they have no choice but to declare independence. Remember that Jefferson looked at this almost with acclaim that they are and of right ought to be free and independent states, offered some reasoning with the political philosophy, and then gave a whole bunch of evidence, 27 pieces of evidence, mind you. You're going to be using all that Declaration of Independence information in a cool writing assignment that you're going to do for Doc, but I'm going to ask you to tell me a little bit about it on a little assessment. Finally, I want you to be able to communicate clearly and effectively. I'm going to give you feedback. You're going to think, oh, Taft is grading me on my writing on a quiz. I'm not grading you. I'm giving you feedback. Are you communicating clearly and effectively? I hope I'm doing that as your teacher. I hope I'm doing that on this little presentation. I hope I'm doing that with my kids. I hope I'm doing that when I coach. I hope that I can help you communicate clearly and effectively because that's what's going to set you apart. And that's what's going to make you grow as a learner, as a citizen, and hopefully make you a bazillionaire. So, we've got this little quiz. This is nothing to stress about. It's going to take about 25 minutes. If you don't do well on it, no worries. You can reassess up to 2 weeks after you take the first assessment. That's not a big problem. I'm not telling you not to study for it. I'm telling you to prepare for it. I'm telling you to make sure that you prepare for it earlier than later, and don't wait till Sunday night if you have class on Monday because the Packers play, and definitely don't wait till Monday night if you have class on Tuesday because that's when the Lions play. All right? If you have any questions, let me know. I'm here for you because remember, I'm trying to help you learn as much as possible because learning is super cool.